This video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to mount a Warn VR-10S and Warn winch mounting plate inside of the factory Mopar steel front bumper. All right, let's get to it. I am using a winch mounting kit designed specifically to work with the Mopar bumper from Warn Industries. While it is designed to be entirely bolt-on, I decided to modify the Fairlead mount. The reason being is that it includes a spot for you to bolt up a front license plate. I do not live in a state where this is required, so rather than have it hanging down, I went ahead and taped off the mount and used a Sawzall to cut off that part just to give it a little bit of a cleaner look. To install the winch mount, you'll need to remove the front bumper entirely. I started this by pulling off the stock skid plate, then moved to the plastic push pins that secure the bumper cover. A flathead screwdriver is all you'll need to do this, and you can set it aside because you will not be reusing this piece. Next, I unbolted the 5 Torx bits holding on the winch cover at the top of the bumper. Warn provides nuts so you can reuse the bumper hardware. Now, they recommend you do this step a little bit later. I wanted to go ahead and do this just for the fact it was easier to do standing up. I also used this time to push out the plastic Fairlead cover since it's no longer needed as well. At this point, I unplugged the fog light harness from the passenger side frame rail and unbolted the 8 frame horn nuts used to secure the bumper to the chassis. It's a fairly light bumper, so you can easily pull it off by yourself, and the nuts are fairly easy to get to. With the bumper set on a moving blanket, I went ahead and removed a few clips that secure the fog light harness to the bumper. Moving back to the frame rails, I unbolted the skid plate mounts located at the bottom of the frame horns. Using these side-specific brackets provided by Warn, I then sandwiched the brackets with the original mount and installed them using the stock hardware. It's important at this point to leave everything fairly loose so you can line up the mount more easily. The winch mount sits between the frame rails, and Warn provides zip ties to actually help keep it up while you install it. This is really handy. Before I could go any further, I needed to unbox my VR Evo 10S winch. The synthetic rope comes already installed on the drum, and all you'll need to do to prep the winch for install is attach the ground battery cable to the winch. One trick I've been doing for years is that I will take a small strip of electrical tape to cover where the mounting nuts go in the winch. This just makes it a lot easier when you're trying to install it and you don't have to fish your hand under the drum to line up the actual nut. The next step was to simply set the winch in place and bolt it down using the provided hardware. Moving back to the bumper, I secured the Fairlead mount and provided aluminum Fairlead. The next critical step here was to install the bumper spacers. These make up for the added thickness that the winch tray provides. With that step complete, you're ready to install the front bumper. The only thing you'll need to do ahead of time is run a little bit of the winch rope through it, and then you can put it on the frame horns. One thing the instructions do not cover well is the fact that once you space out the front bumper, the lower rear mounting holes for the factory steel skid plate will no longer work. I simply drilled new holes, which basically elongated the mounting spot for it. There's probably an easier way to do it, but this worked fine for me. To wire the winch in a way I thought was clean and protected the cables, I unbolted the computer mounting bracket that's just in front of the battery and routed the cables under it. I wanted it to be as clean as possible. I hate seeing a bunch of wires underneath the hood. I bolted the power lead to an unused stud that was on the battery. It's going to require an M8 by 1.25 nut. The license plate mounting hardware actually comes with one of these nuts, so if you're not using that, you can actually use that nut to secure your winch power lead down as well. And that's pretty much the install. The only thing you'll need to do before using the winch is pre-tension the rope. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching.